So nice to see you back, people. There's some of you we haven't seen in a while. So very good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this new episode of Enrich Your Coffee. And today it's also another bit special day because I'm really happy to have you, Dalia, with us. Dalia Yablon is the Senior Advisor at TechConnect, and she will give you an overview of what TechConnect Europe is and all the different elements that will be part of it. TechConnect will take place in November, and I'm really happy also to announce that Enrich has been an associate partner to the program, and we help the organizing committee setting up some different activities, including like the workshop that Dalia will mention, and we are really happy and excited to be present there for like one of our upcoming physical meeting, the first, probably the first one for Enrich. And we hope to see many of you over there. So before I give the floor to Dalia, I invite everyone to bring up their cup, turn on your cameras, and I'll let Pierrette do the magic.
Yes, so smiley faces, 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
So Dalia, now.
Okay, thank you. A huge thank you to Anne, Charlotte, and your organization for the opportunity to talk to you about TechConnect today. We are incredibly excited to be launching TechConnect Europe. The inaugural meeting will be in Malmo, November 15th to 17th. We're supposed to launch it last year, but we have delayed it a year because of COVID. And this builds on the TechConnect series of events that we hold in the US. So the US version is on its 24th year this year. We're actually having our in-person meeting in the US in a week and a half. So very excited. Also, we had to cancel last year's because of COVID. So everyone's very excited to get back. TechConnect is a pretty unique kind of meeting, really designed to accelerate the commercialization of innovations out of labs into industry, out of labs meaning out of academic labs, national labs, and into full commercialization and further down the pipeline. Just a little bit of history. When it started, it was very nanotech focused. This was the 90s. And so the chairs, the founders of the organization, Matt Loudon and Bart Romanowitz, were heavily involved in nanotech research and really wanted to try and get a forum for people engaged in that research to get it out. So now, 20 odd years later, it has evolved way beyond nanotechnology. And now we're very excited to launch the inaugural meeting in Europe. So I'm just going to spend a few minutes describing the meeting to you and focusing on also this big science facility summit that we have put together for this inaugural meeting, which is also, we have done a version of this in the US. We do it every few years, and it's very popular. We have a very strong national lab network in the US, and so we bring them together for something similar every few years. So we thought for the inaugural European meeting to try and do something similar. So I'm just gonna, I need to share screen. Let me share screen. I just want to describe the meeting, and I'm just going to kind of hit a little bit different points of the website. So the TechConnect meetings in general have two parts. One is a technical program where presenters are just presenting their research, and those presenters are academics, industry, national labs, somewhat of an applied focus. And then we also have an innovation spotlight section to the meeting, and they are occurring at the same time usually. And so the innovation spotlight is you'll have a thematic session. Let's say it's advanced materials. A couple of corporates will give an overview of the kind of things they're looking for, and then the startups or the academic groups or national groups will then give these short 5 to 6 minute pitches about their technology, and then there's time also for everyone to get 1 to 2 minutes of feedback. So you kind of have these 2 sessions going on, and there's a lot of synergy. There's a lot of crossover between these 2 tracks. People are constantly drifting between them depending on what their interest is. And so for a TechConnect Europe, for that technical track of the meeting, we've got 3 areas of focus: advanced materials, biotech, and energy. So I'll just click on, for example, advanced materials. You can see who the chairs are. You can see who the confirmed invited speakers are and the topics that are featured. Our full program is up. So you can go to the full program here and you can see, what the talks are, who's giving what when. So for example, advanced materials, I think their first session is characterization of advanced materials. Very appropriate, I think. I think there are people from Enrich and also from Big Science who are giving some talks in this. So again, this is a technical track. And so we got these 3 technical tracks of materials, biotech, and energy. Just to give you guys some comparison, in the US meeting, we have 35 technical symposia going on. It's been going on a lot longer. It's a very well-established meeting, but for now we're starting these 3. But then sorry, one more thing before I get to Big Science. We have some very exciting keynote speakers coming to the meeting. They're all listed here. We're going to have a keynote session on the Monday morning. The whole Monday morning is a keynote session, and then half of the Tuesday morning is a keynote session. So these are our keynote speakers. And then what we put together, and I've had some really fabulous co-chairs that I'm working with, Kaisa Paulson, Anna Stensom, and Jimmy Anderson, to put together this summit. And the idea behind this is really to showcase some of the facilities across Europe and to try and promote and engage the broader community with these facilities in terms of access, understanding, what they can offer, how they can leverage these facilities for their innovations, for their commercialization, to try and help move their product along their pipeline. So we've got 4 parts to this all-day summit. It's going to happen on the Tuesday, on the middle day of the whole TechConnect. We launch in the beginning. In the morning, we're going to have keynotes on ESS and Max 4. They are part of that Tuesday morning keynote session. The other 2 speakers will be Bert Weckheisen from Sunergy and Jean-David Melot will also be speaking in this keynote session. After the keynote session, then so the keynote session is for the whole meeting, right? Everyone's in there, everyone's just listening to the keynotes. Then we're going to break into our room for the facilities summit. And we're going to have, I think half of these speakers are speaking before lunch and the other half are after lunch. So we're going to hear from half of these speakers, again, trying to showcase, what are some of the facilities, how one might get access to it. So we get 4 speakers before lunch. Then over lunch, and here's where I really hope we can get interest and engagement, especially from you guys. We're going to have these workshops over lunch. Everyone, when they register, I think a couple of weeks before registration, we're going to send an email to all participants of TechConnect Europe to invite them to participate in one of these workshops. It's not competing with anything else, well, obviously lunch, but there's no other programming going on. So we're hoping to get really good engagement here. And for now, we picked 3 topics. And what is driving these workshops? It's actually been very interesting for me because, you know, clearly things are set up in the US a little bit different than in Europe. And it's been very interesting for me to kind of see some of the differences. But what's driving this, it is clear that the end users, whether they're in the startup community or in the academics, they really want to be able to sit down in a room with the facilities, ICO and ILOs, and have a really honest conversation about what their needs are, what their challenges are, you know, how to improve things. From what I understand, they don't get many opportunities to do this. They felt that TechConnect Europe could be a unique opportunity to do this. And there is a real need to everyone, you know, not, you know, like I'm sure everyone has their own silo organization. So the end users talk a lot to themselves. The ICOs and ILOs talk a lot to themselves, but there's not a lot of, you know, everyone talking to each other. And they really wanted time to have, you know, honest conversations. So we have formulated, and Anne Charlotte's been a huge help in helping us formulate these workshops, kind of 3 big topics. And so you pick one and then you go to that one for an hour and a half over lunch. So the first one is, how do we accelerate innovation through Europe's research facilities? And, you know, we just listed some of the topics that have come up. I'm sure this workshop will explore more, but issues surrounding access, funding, and subject matter expertise in terms of how you get into these research facilities. And the target audience here are really some of the end users, right? Who can come in and try and learn how they can capitalize better on these tremendous and this tremendous infrastructure that is available. So, you know, corporate and subject matter experts that have maybe done a little bit, but really are looking to get more involved. And the next one is focused on the intermediary service providers. This is an area that I myself am climbing the learning curve. We don't have a very good analog in the US, so it's been very interesting for me to learn about this, you know, and how they can be better utilized to help bridge, you know, the research community with some of these facilities. How they can facilitate the work and be more productive. And then the third area is for those people that are big users of the science facilities, to be able to have a forum where they can talk about some best practices that they would love to see in terms of logistics, analysis, data handling, remote access. I think is something they talk about. So apparently, you know, that people have a lot of ideas, but really want to be able to get into the room with some of the people that can implement this and can try and bubble some of their needs to get them done. So those are the workshops. Then the idea is we will have so the workshop's over lunch, and then there's a whole afternoon session, but there will be a report out from these, each of these workshops will report out, right? We all come back into the same room after lunch, after we split into the workshops, and every workshop will report out on, you know, some of the learnings or key findings or kind of what went on. And then we're going to continue with the rest of the day. So after that, we have, I think, the other half of these guys. And then we conclude on a positive note, you know, some successful case studies, and we're getting more. These are just the 2 that are officially confirmed so far, of industrial groups, of academic groups that have successfully leveraged these facilities to further their innovation and commercialization. So very excited about this summit, and really hope to get your engagement in all of it. And especially, you know, these workshops, we really want people from the whole pipeline in on these workshops. It will not be a success if it's just all the end users who are coming and talking to themselves like they always do, right? We really want everyone in the room together from the whole innovation pipeline with respect to these facilities, so that everyone's talking to one another. And I think that's all I was going to say. I want to leave more time for questions from you guys, and see, hopefully we can get you guys interested and attending in mid-November in Malmo.
Thank you very much, Dalia. Maybe one thing we can do, we are 16 participants today. We have about 15 minutes to talk. It might take a long time that everyone introduce each other, but we can raise hands just to present who we are. Before Nikolai, I will give you the floor just after that, but maybe those who are ICOs, so the ICOs in the enriched definition, just keep in mind, it's people working for an RI who's basically dealing with industry, but from the RI perspective. So raise your hands if you're an ICO. So then Dalia kind of see who people are.
Okay, so these are ICOs.
Caroline,
They're
yeah.
raising their hands.
Where Caroline also was raising her hands, but she's working for ILS, so she's also an ICO.
Okay.
And the ILOs, please raise your hands. You can use the reaction button, so that's easier. Yeah, or clap, or it's fine. Just make a sign.
Cool. Okay, thank you.
Maybe Dalia, you can stop sharing so then we see better people.
Yeah.
And finally, for the others, Valentina, you're representing HepTech. So you're from a tech transfer office, so it's a bit different as well. And I don't know who's Galaxy S10. Okay, no worries. So that gives you a bit of an idea who's in the room. And so Nikolai, you had a question, and then Michele, it's your turn.
Thanks. Yeah, my question was, how much industry participating are you expecting for this event?
Yeah, sorry, that's a great question. So that's part of the unique part of this meeting. It really is geared towards a fairly even mix of academia and industry. And so when we bring in invited speakers, we're really trying to target bringing in industry as well as academia. So our network is fairly unique in terms of, again, being a very, a very healthy mix and bringing in industry participation a lot more than I would say any of these conventional scientific meetings. I don't know about Europe, but in the US, industry is pretty poorly represented at the more traditional scientific meetings. And that was part of the motivation behind TechConnect is we get probably over 50% industry participation in the US-based TechConnect meetings. And on all the symposia, we always have an academic chair and an industrial chair to drive participation from both. But the innovation track is pretty heavily industrial because each spotlight session has industry, basically an industry panel overseeing that and running that. And the participants themselves, the startup community is very heavily represented in that. So yeah, there is a very deliberate and conscious effort to bring in a very heavy industrial element. We work very hard on that.
Thanks.
Okay. You're mute.
How many participants do you expect to take part?
Because of COVID, we have, honestly, I have no idea. I will say we got a couple of hundred contributed abstracts, which was pretty good. We're definitely pleased with that. then that's on top of all the invited speakers. But anything I would guess would just be dishonest at this point, because COVID has kind of upended any ability to plan or expect anything. So I don't know. Like I said, all I can say is, about how many contributed abstracts we got. And it should be greater than that number.
Okay, good luck. Thank you.
Thanks.
Pirette?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Dalia. I'm really curious what made TechConnect make the jump across the pond right now or last year? Like, what made you expand out?
Yeah, it's actually been a few years in the making, to be honest, because I think so we do have Europeans who attend TechConnect in the US, for sure. We even have some European chairs of symposia. And I think, like I said, it's been a few years in the making. There's been a lot of cross-fertilization, and I think that, there's just been interest in trying to help drive innovation in Europe, based on this model in the US has worked very well. Like I said, the meeting is it's our 24th year, and it grows every year. So it's been very successful here. So I think the idea was, can we try now build this kind of framework in Europe? I mean, it has a very well-established and well-known presence in the US. And a lot of companies, know to come and get opportunities for their technologies here. It's where a lot of them, find commercialization partners, collaborators, things like that. So it has a very positive reputation here for fostering innovation and commercialization. And like, it's still a very unique meeting. It's still the only one that I know that brings the whole pipeline together in one place. So I guess we've been going long enough and had enough people from Europe who participated. They start saying, well, why can't we try this in Europe and see where it might lead?
So public demand.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure.
Is there any other questions? Because as you know, we still have like this discount that we negotiated with Dalia and the team for Enrich. And we would like also as a community to take the opportunity to meet you there physically, because we haven't had this opportunity yet. So we're going to have a booth where we are thinking of having surprises there, and maybe doing some interviews with companies and some maybe I don't know, we still need to think of the details, but it could be a very good opportunity also to see you there. So it's also a curiosity for myself to know who could be there, and maybe organizing an Enrich networking event also there in the evening, because like Sweden nights in November, Swedish nights in November are the best. So, no?
Maybe I just asked Dalia, is there anything in the program outside the sessions?
Yeah, I think there's something we can maybe highlight is outside the big science, because we have in the audience people who are not necessarily big science facilities, and maybe it's interesting for them to.
Yeah, sure. So let me share screen again. Sure. So first of all, the full program is listed here. You can see the day at a glance to try and get the idea of what else is going on. Maybe I should have started with that. Right. So here are this is a technical track that I was talking about. So on the Monday, right, we've got the keynote program. There is an expo and a lot of these companies are or universities have booths to showcase their technology. So there is an exhibit hall that's open from like noon till 5 or 6 p.m. So this is our technical track. And then this is that commercialization and innovation track. So, right, I talked to you about those innovation pitch sessions, which are roughly along the same kind of tracks that our technical ones are. So I guess a Monday afternoon, there'll be advanced materials and energy and sustainability. And you can even see who's giving those pitches, right? So that would be, yeah, if we go into the full program, which I'll do after I finish the day at a glance. So that's the Monday. And basically this is how the meeting is split up in terms of the technical track and then the commercialization and innovation track. And you can see there are a couple of organizations like I think Crowd Helix and Medicon, Medicon Valley Alliance. They're holding their member meetings there this year. So they will be participating as well. And so you can see where the different activities are, right? So then on the Tuesday, again, first half of the morning is keynotes, and then we've got all these different symposia going on the technical track, and the partnering track that pitches that afternoon are in the biotech and healthcare session. And of course, big science is happening that whole day. And then Wednesday is a half day. And we finish up again with these technical session and then more pitches in advanced materials. And then in the afternoon, I know they're trying to organize tours of, of Max 4 and ESS. So that will happen. So that's day at a glance. If you want to know the full program, like all the details, right? So you can do, full program is listed here, and you can see all the individual sessions. So for example, if you're interested in, let's say the pitches, they haven't listed them yet. Okay, I think they will, right? Those get listed at the very end, but you can see what companies are doing the pitches. And of course, there are poster sessions, like I said, exhibit hall, the talks. It's really kind of two meetings in parallel, to be honest. And it's very nice. I will give you a little bit of personal history. I used to work out of grad school. I used to work at ExxonMobil, and that's when I first attended this meeting for the innovation spotlights in the energy sector. It was very active. We were always hunting for new technologies, and that's how I came to TechConnect, was through these spotlight features, the spotlight pitches in energy. And then I got more involved in the technical track, and I've been involved myself with this meeting for 12 years in the US. But that's how I came to it, because a lot of the corporates will send people to listen to these pitches in these different areas and see if they can get some ideas or people to talk to. So yeah, I encourage you to kind of the full program listed or the day at a glance to get a better sense of what's going on. And the exhibit hall will be Monday afternoon and Tuesday afternoon.
And Valentina, I think you had a question in the chat.
Yeah. Hi, yes. Thank you, Dalia. I wanted to understand if this is as well an online event or it's just a physical one.
Yeah, it's not an online event. It's just a physical event. Believe me, we have spent so much time discussing this, especially in the wake of last year. And the rationale is quite simple, actually. So virtual events, we feel, they're very good for, like, let's say straight research talks, right? You just want to give a research talk and people listen, that's great. But that's really not what this event is about. It's about those in the hall conversations, the coffee breaks. It's about connecting people, and it just does not work virtually. We have tried it thanks to COVID, in a couple of different ways, and it just isn't successful. Not nearly as successful as in person. And so, because this was the inaugural event in Europe. It's our very first one. We really want to put on a strong footing and give it the best chance to succeed. We really felt like, you know, this has to be in person. I will also tell you the US meeting is fully in person. There is no virtual, there's no hybrid aspect because it's not, you know, like I'm a chemist, right? So I attend like the American Chemical Society, the Material Research Society meetings, and they're all virtual last year. This year they're doing hybrid versions, and it works. It really works because when you're trying to just engage over scientific content, that works because people can sit and listen and absorb the scientific talk. This meeting is really different. I'm sorry that I keep just falling on these cliches. It's different and people have to be there, but it's just not one of these regular technical meetings. The point is for new people to meet new people. We're not looking for like the same people who always talk to each other. You know, yeah, Zoom for them will work, but these are getting new people into the room, getting engaged, you know, having that side conversation. That's how this stuff moves forward. It's not just through conveying technical content in your presentation, if that makes sense.
Thank you. Yeah, it's just to understand what to answer to people that will ask me if there is an
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
It's no, there is no. Okay, I understand all your reasons. Thank you so much.
And look, I think it's frustrating, and I get it. It is frustrating, but
it's okay. I think well, perfect. Thank you.
Sure.
So we are on time now. Unless there's one more question, I would close the session. So thank you very much, everyone.
Could I just have a question?
Yes, of course.
How do we access the discount rate for Enrich?
There's a link that has been circulated. If you don't
Great.
get it, come back to us and
I'm
we will
sure I have it.
help
I'm
you.
sure
And so the deadline is tomorrow, but I'm sure Dalia can maybe extend it 1 or 2 days for you to, to take the time
if necessary, we'll extend it. We really would love to have you guys there, you know, trying to make it as easy as possible. Would love to get your engagement and just have you there. So however we can facilitate that,
Chiara,
I will work with Anne Charlotte to do that.
Chiara, you have a question?
No, I was just replying to Nikolai that I put the link in the chat if you need it for the registration with the 25% discount.
So everyone click there.
Yeah, and I would like to also ask for prolonging the discount, because I don't have still the decision whether we go or not. So maybe it could be postponed till next week. It would be very nice. I mean the discount.
I don't see any problem with that. I will send a note. I will try and take care of that.
And we will communicate that through our social medias, and so just I mean, don't be worried with that. We'll find
that. That should not be the reason.
This is just a technical.
But you didn't get the discount. Well, we'll make it happen. Don't worry. We will make it happen.
So if we prolong it, we hope to see you there.
Right there, exactly.
Yeah, I have to, because I see that you know, it's very interesting, and yeah, I haven't attended on-site meetings since a long time, so
let's make something nice around as well as a networking for the Enrich community, so you are even more motivated. But thank you very much, everyone. I'm looking forward to see you all next week. We're going to talk about the EPOS project, and they're going to present us the platform they have put in place for data. And by then, I wish you a great week and have a good day.
Thank you again for the opportunity, guys.
Bye.
Thank you, Dalia. Bye.
Thanks a lot,
Thank you, Dalia.
Bye.